already recording. I have to ask who the heck the witch belongs to. There is a witch that is somewhere around here that doesn't make any sense to me because they keep showing me a lady that's fictitious and does not belong in this space, and it's not here. This is a different space. Is that correct? Yes or no, guys? You know more about this space than I do?
This space is...
There's another house. They're telling me there's another house is what they're giving to me. They're giving me two. So there's another house. Is there another house that's like getting paranormal energy? Because they keep giving me two, but it's a separate location.
There's
it's not
another
your
one.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because does anybody talk about a witch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're making me feel like, first off, I'm going
Down
to tell
the
you,
road.
I don't think it's a witch. I think that it's something that looks or appears to be witchy. But at the same time, I wouldn't coin her a witch. I feel like she was just kind of a crazy mental lady before she passed, and it's almost like she's got dementia is how she's coming across to me. So of course she would be a little bit off in her afterlife. That's just kind of how we are sometimes. But I'm also going to tell you that you guys have like this weird, and I am going to tell you Grand Central Station, even though it's really funny because it's almost like you guys have spirit that comes in between places. And so you guys probably don't know what the hell is going on, excuse my French. But they're making me feel like every single thing that you guys feel, it's like tonight it'll be this, and then tomorrow it'll be this. And so it's almost like you guys can't make sense of anything that's happening in your house. It's almost like it's just random weird stuff. And so, you know, you might have somebody that comes in and messes with water one night, and then you'll have somebody that runs up and down your stairs the next night. And so it's like you guys have all this weird energy that's taking place. But I'm also going to tell you that like how they're giving this to me is it's almost like this space housed sick people is how they're giving this to me. So I don't know if it was ever like a place where there was like a hospital or a makeshift hospital, because they keep telling me that everybody got wiped out. They're wiping everybody out. And they are also making me feel like my lungs are on fire, but also my intestines are on fire. So that means there was 2 different illnesses at least that came into this location. And it's like the whole entire town, they're burning it to the ground is what they're giving to me. And they're also making me feel like nothing even exists here anymore. It's like it's all gone. Our home is gone. And any family that was left had to leave is what they're giving to me. And so there's a lot of spirit here that's just like, help. And that's what it is. So you guys do have a weird, and you also have a gentleman that's sitting in your chair. So,
Really?
I don't know who he is. So I'm going to tell you, actually, fun enough, I think this one belongs to you guys. I have a grandfather that's coming through on Dad's side of the family. And I want to say that I think it's actually for you. He's sitting in this chair. Grandfather, Dad's side of the family is coming through. He's giving you lots of love. And he's also giving separation, which means that you were probably separated at the time of his passing. But he's chilling in your chair, which means that he likes to keep your house safe and protected from anything that may come in and feel a little bit weird or vibrative. It's cute because spirit comes through in different ways, okay? Oh, you guys have so much in this house. So, I don't know if your house has been cleansed or blessed because they're making me feel like somebody came in and cleansed the space, which is fine. However, you need to continue cleansing the house if you want stuff to stay away. The issue is you don't have negative stuff in your space. It might feel negative to you guys if you're walking through your house and you see a shadow or you see something. You're definitely going to feel scared by that. And the reason you feel scared is because your mind and your brain is interfering and saying, hey, look, I'm not supposed to be seeing this standing up on the stairs. What is going on? Or this door isn't supposed to be slamming shut. What's happening? And so it'll come off really scary for you at first. But once you know how to get through the layers of what Spirit's actually trying to say and what Spirit's actually trying to do, that's when we start to understand the messages that they're really trying to give us. And I think that you guys have a lot of people in this space that find you really comforting. You are a mom. You bring people in off the street. You're a stray keeper. You love people. You're such an empath. You're such a gifted human being. And because of that, you're a beacon. Spirit's always going to be here, especially people who felt like they were lost. And so please just know they're coming for a safe place because you're safe to them. You remind them of mom. You remind them of things. And so you are home to them. And so your space isn't necessarily haunted. You are, kind of in a sense, because you are a gifted woman that understands stuff, sees stuff, experiences stuff. And so please just know that they're making me feel like they don't want you to feel scared by us. They want you to feel like we're coming around because you're welcoming us. Have you had a couple negative things happen in this house? Yes. But they're also making me feel like the good stuff kicks it out. And so please just know that once you get something that comes in off the street that may be more negative, and I'm also going to tell you, I feel like this is a manifestation of negative energy that is manifested from people who have weird thoughts based on the town or weird thoughts based on what it is. because demons don't really exist in everyday life. Like, I can go into every house in America and maybe see 3 demons my whole life. So please just know that's just not what it is. That's a lie. I don't know who told you that there were demons around this area, but they are literally making me feel like that doesn't exist in this space. And it also doesn't exist in the witch house. That is a manifestation of somebody else's thought based on what spirit is. And so the more people that come, and the more people that oogle, and the more people that pretend, and the more people that call on this because somebody saw this, it's building a character in their own head, and that's what creates stuff. Our mind is our most powerful tool, and they want you to know that, okay? Because they don't want you guys to end up being scared and manifesting this thing into your house also. So please know they're giving you so much love, and they're thanking you very much, but I am taking upstairs. But, so I got a guy. I want you to know, I just had a guy do this to me, and he tipped his hat to me, and he actually saluted to me, and he said, "I'm a postmaster." So please know that there is a man in here who is also claiming to be a postmaster, and I'm not exactly sure why that is, but you do have a postmaster that's also in here. He's kind of about this tall, very old, very frail looking guy, but he also likes to hang around. And do you guys ever hear footsteps, like when you're in different spaces in the house? Because he's doing this. Actually stomping his feet very, very much so to get your guys' attention. Why? Just because they want your attention. Right. That's really all it is. Like, hey, we're here, not going anywhere. Thanks for fixing the place up. Because they're also making me feel like you guys have done a lot of work here. You guys have done so much work. And I don't know if the process was already taking place like when you guys bought this, but they're almost making me feel like this place could have went one of 2 ways. I feel like it was almost in a place where it was going to be completely torn down and completely dismantled. And they're just making me feel like they are so grateful that somebody saved this, because it's a whole town that was wiped out. There is nothing left. And so the fact that you guys have this still, it's almost like you guys have gawkers. I'm going to tell you I'm sorry, and Spirit's making me feel like they're sorry too about that. And I'm also going to tell you, you have people that probably drive by your house and swear up and down they see people staring from outside of the street even when you guys aren't home. You guys do have random spirit that does tend to look out your windows at night. So please know, they're sorry for the gawkers that you guys have, and it's almost like you have to make sure that like your house is really protected with like cameras and stuff like that, because you don't want people just on your property trying to get information or call on people or see things. So please know, they're the sweetest people here. So I'm just like, I'm in love with your spirit, because they have like the utmost love and like just devotion to you guys, because you've just given them so much. They just love you so much. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Are these the windows that people see Spirit kind of hanging out at? Yeah. Okay, well, there's a lady that's taking me, and it's super cute because she's showing me this like, and I don't know if this used to be like the attic, not a living space necessarily, but what she's doing is she's making me feel like it used to be like storage. And so, do you know if this place ever also caught on fire ever electrically? Yes.
Not sure about electric, but there's ashes up here in this part of the
Okay,
attic.
she's making me feel like the fire came and like it could have been way worse. It could have been way worse. But it's almost like it's saved, like we saved it, is how she's giving it to me. So the space was saved.
Oh, there was electric. When I redid the wiring in our bedroom, there was paper, because she turned on the light switch in my son's room.
Is what she's doing. She's like taking the wire and going
and
like this.
When I rewired it, I went, oh my gosh, look at this paper was burnt.
And it could have been way worse.
It was supposed to be on
This
fire.
woman specifically is the one stopping that fire from being worse. So see, these people are trying to save you guys because you saved them a space. And so even though it's probably really annoying, and like I said, I think you get some stragglers every now and then that might seem a little bit more on the negative side, you guys have a lot of people in here that love you, love what you've done, and also have the hearts just like you. And so it's almost like you guys have given them a space to essentially call home after their homes are gone. And I'm going to tell you, she's lining the streets with like different, I almost want to say it's like different stores or different shops. And there's also like houses sporadically placed down this road, and she's tearing them down and burning them. And also, I'm going to tell you, I feel like she's She's literally burning bodies for me. So that means that somebody at some point had to have also burnt bodies, and I'm going to say it might have been because of whatever pandemic came through here. But what she's doing is she's literally taking me into the chest, and I feel like my whole lungs are on fire. And it's probably because of how things were, because she's like making me feel like everything was on fire at one point. And so the smoke was so big, but it was done in a purposeful manner. It's not like it was an accident. She's making me feel like people started these fires because they had to start these fires. But she's also giving me such tragic circumstances around that. And so it's almost like you have these two different energies that are battling each other. You have energies on your space, and then you have energies outside of your space, and it's almost like sometimes they battle them, because when we have things that happen in a tragic way that kills a lot of people, because I feel like everybody died. She's just making me feel like almost every freaking person in this town died. There may have been a couple people that were left, but they moved afterwards. They didn't stay and they didn't rebuild because there was nothing to rebuild after that. And also she's making me feel like we were so fearful of everything that took place and everything that got us where it was, that she's just making me feel like there was nothing left. And so why should we stay? All of our family is gone. Everybody lost everything. And she's also bringing bones up, so that does mean to me that at some point in time, either people were excavating or something like that, because she's putting people almost in mass graves. So I don't know what that means, but she's also making me feel like off from your space, not in your space, but she's making me feel like there were people that were kind of buried all together almost. And so whatever took place in here, it was awful. And it ripped through here so bad. And it's so stupid. She's so frustrated with this. She's just on a roll. I like this lady. She's just so frustrated about the whole situation, because she's making me feel like it all could have been stopped. It all could have been stopped if we would have taken this serious and this serious, because it's almost like the perfect storm. You have all these people coming into the same place from all these different places, and they're all gathering in our town, and this person's sick and this person's sick. And she's also giving me what looks like chicken pox, so I'm going to say smallpox based on how she's giving it to me. And she's giving me fever from head to toe. So I am going to say that that's probably one of the things that came through here, which is an awful, horrible, wretched disease to have. And on top of that, she's making me feel like nobody quarantined anybody. Nobody kept anybody else safe. Everybody didn't know that this was something that we had to keep our families from. And so babies are getting sick, children are getting sick, people are getting sick, parents are dying. It's literally like the Stand movie taking place in this town. It's tragic. And so for that, it's almost like we don't want to leave. The people who passed during that situation didn't want to leave because they had already lost everything. And so part of us decided to kind of stay and stick around and kind of protect what was still available. And she's making me feel like there's only like 4 structures or 4 houses altogether that are still left from the mess that was. Anything else that I see out here has probably been built after the fact. And so it's property that would have been purchased afterwards. And it's so sad to her because it used to be a beautiful town. And it's almost like it's a catch-22 because it's home to her, but at the same time, it's not home anymore. But this is the lady that you guys see. She's sitting in this old-fashioned rocking chair that is right in front of the window, and she's just sitting here looking out the window, so people will see a woman looking out the window sometimes. I'm also going to tell you, I don't know if like anybody ever sees children, but there's also children in your space a lot. There's a lot of children in your space. And I also have, I think this is more for you. She's giving me lots of love. She is coming through, and she is on mom's side of the family. So please know that you also have a mother figure coming through for you, and she is giving you so much love. She is pulling you to me, which means that you were around her at the time of her passing. I don't know if this is grandma. I feel like it's more grandma than mom. I do want you to know that. But what she's doing is she's making me feel like she actually was a mother figure to everybody in your family. And so you do have family in your space as well. You don't just have these random strangers here. You guys also have your own loved ones that are in the space too, keeping it protected and giving you guys love as well. Do you guys ever hear doors slamming all over the place? There's just slamming everything for me, making me feel like, nope, we're just still alive. Want you to know that. And so it's like, it might sound angry or it might sound scary to you guys, but at the same time, they're just like, hey, we're here. And so if you don't want them to do that, like this is your guys' space, period. It's your space. If you don't want spirit to slam stuff, be like, look, y'all, we don't care if you're here. That's fine if you want to stick around. We're cool with that. But at the same time, respect us. We're the living. respect us, be quiet. We have times where we have to sleep because they're making me feel like they actually wake you up out of the middle of the night and make you go check on stuff because you don't know what the heck is going on. And they're also almost making me feel like there was almost a flood in your house one time because somebody turned on the water.
You've been busted.
Oh. This, like, do you guys actually sleep in this house?
Yeah.
Is this your room?
Yes.
Okay. Have either one of you ever woke up in the middle of the night and saw something standing in your room?
Both of us.
Okay. Tell them not
She
to.
had somebody put their arm around her while she was sleeping.
Tell them no. Okay, I'm going to tell you guys how to do this, okay? Guides. We all have guides. Angels, guides, God, all that stuff. I don't know what you believe in. That's how I do things. So what I'm going to tell you is talk to your guides. Specifically you, because once again, you're a gifted human being, and I think you need to get more on board with that than what you have. But at the same time, our guides are our gatekeepers. And in my house, my room is my sanctuary. Spirit's not allowed in my room. Period. End of story. Or bathroom. Okay? There ain't nothing that spirit needs to talk to about me when I'm either sleeping or when I'm in the bathroom. And so tell your guides, say, hey, look, guys, I'm cool with having the gifts that I have because I think you've experienced stuff your whole life. They're making me feel like you have your whole life had a lot of stuff happen to you. Probably unexplainable, probably a couple things that scared the crap out of you because they're also making me feel like you've seen some pretty negative stuff. But your faith keeps you going and your faith keeps you protected. You literally are surrounded in protection. So please just know that you are completely surrounded and you have to get a little firmer because they're making me feel like you're a woman who says what she means and means what she says, but those boundaries came a little bit later in life. But they're also making me feel like at the end of the day, those boundaries need to be kept with spirit as well. And so some of these things are actually learning for you. That's how our guides teach us to be stronger amongst our gifts, is to give us situations where we have to say no. And so when you have things in your space, tell it, no, this is my sleeping space. We're not doing this. If you want to talk to me later. You're not allowed in my room. Not allowed, get out. Okay? If you have to get something in here that is like protection, you can use lavender, you can use all sorts of stuff. I can talk to you about that later. But I don't really feel like, I feel like there's shadows, okay? And I'm seeing a shadow figure, okay? And when I see a shadow figure, it can mean two things, because there is a gentleman that's a little bit on the testy side in this space, okay? And he comes and he goes, but he likes to try to throw his weight around is how I'm getting him. And he can't throw his weight around with somebody who looks at him in the eye and says, no, this is my space, bro, get out. And I feel like you're that person. I feel like you're a little softer because they're bending you over like this. You're kind of like, yeah, he's the pine tree in the situation and he's just going to go with the breeze and whatever. And so it might be a little harder for you to feel and pick up on that negativity, because he will definitely push his energy out at you. And I'm going to, because I don't know. I'm going to tell you guys, I don't know anything about this. I've made them keep this a secret, and it was really hard for some of them. But at the same time, I don't know if you were told that there was something negative in your house, okay? Let's just talk about this for a minute. I don't call anybody out because that's not my place. I don't know what's been talked about prior to me, and I'm not that girl. I'm not going to call anybody's gifts whatever. But what they're doing is they're giving me the difference between negative human spirit and negative entities. Okay, there's a huge difference here. And I feel the things that have been negative undertones for you guys are actually negative human beings. They are not entities. These are people that walked on earth and are just grumpy. They're old gusses and they're trying to throw their weight around. You have crazy old women that come in and out of your space, and you also have that one man that likes to think that this is still his store. It's not his store, okay? It's not. This isn't even a store anymore. Look at the place. This is not your space. I'm sorry. You can't sell candy in my kitchen anymore. And so he just needs to be told, there's a place for you and there's a place not for you. And if you don't follow our rules, then we're going to get rid of you. Period. End of story. It is what it is. But don't try to make yourself more negative than what you actually are. Because I think he was really a good guy when he was here. It's almost like he's sad about what he lost. And that bitterness has followed him to the other side. He's not a bad guy. He's just no different than any other ornery old Gus that dies, and they carry that energy with them. And so there's a huge difference between negative energies and an actual entity that would be considered demonic. You don't have anything demonic in this space. You do have a couple people that like to stand a little taller and be a little menacing and kind of peek through your space and make themselves look like they're demons, but they're not. They're just whatever. Just get out of here.
Okay.
We were told that there's a lot here, and there's like one that's like the captain of all. He's the ringleader. It's like
But
he
that's-
keeps everybody at bay.
Okay, yeah, that's a lie. He doesn't have that power.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because you have all this good that is so overriding him right now. And if he was so scary, I wouldn't be able to channel.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So either I'm better than what he is and he's kind of like, oh crap, I can't hide from her, or this other energy is like, no bro, get back. He's here, but he's not anything that I would worry about. I mean, if you guys want, I can tell you how to move him on if he gets to, but I feel like you have it handled. I really feel like you have
We're
it
not
handled.
scared.
Yeah, I feel like you have it handled.
When he was truck driving, there was loud knocks on the wall.
I feel like at one point you guys actually had something thrown. They're making me feel like at some point something was like thrown or chucked across the room. And it's like, okay, that's it, temper tantrum? Like, that's it? That's all you got? That's kind of how I'm getting this. And everybody else is like, knock it off.
Yeah, because I was by myself. He was gone, and I was really tired that day. And when I heard it, I sat up in bed, and I goes, what the fuck is this? You know, that's just what I said. And I said, I'm too tired for this shit. And then I think I just went right to bed, you know.
I don't see you as being this little lamb that's scared of the things in here, and I don't see
Years
him.
ago, I might not have been that way, but
Yeah, I just don't
Yeah.
feel like he has the power that people have given him, is what I'm going to
Yeah.
say. So he may in other places have the power, but you have to give the power to the spirit. And you guys don't do that. So he may try to come in every now and then and throw his weight around, but you don't allow it. Other houses may, because I feel like in other houses he may be a little stronger. But I think you guys all share the same people, if that makes sense to you. It's almost like that's why
there's
it's like
another
Grand
house.
Central Station. And it's like you guys have like the same type of spirits. It's like within a mile radius of here, or 2 miles from here is how they're giving this to me. So there's like somewhere else also that also has spirits. So yeah, if you guys see the shadow guy in here, no, he's not a demon.
Okay.
I feel like that's it. Has anybody ever heard a baby cry?
A baby crying? Well, we thought it was a doll or something toy.
I'm actually hearing a little baby cry, and that just means to me that you also sometimes probably have a baby spirit that comes in and out of the space. But I'm also going to tell you some of this is like residual, which is weird because I don't think anything, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but nothing really ever happened in the space, did it? Like, did you guys have a whole bunch, like, before you moved in, do you know the history of the location? Just yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, did like, there wasn't like I said before, I feel like people kind of came in here when they were sick, or this might have been like a hospital or something like that, because they're showing me sick people in the space. But they're making me feel like at that point in time, it's not like, I don't feel like anything negative happened here. This was not negatively affected that way, the same way other places may have been negatively affected. And so what they're doing is they're making me feel like, some of the stuff would be residual. So if they did have a mother and a baby per se in here that was sick, every now and then what you would be picking up on sometimes also is the energy. And that's something that happens on a time loop. So sometimes you guys might see something walking around downstairs at the same time. It might not happen every night. It may happen like once every 6 months. But it's the same thing all the time. It's like, oh, we see her in the same place, or we see this in the same place. That's a residual thing. And so please just know that not all of these things that you guys are seeing are actually haunted spirits. Some of it's actually a timestamp of what took place then. So also don't worry about that.
We were just wondering why would we have some sort of like hospital door on your commercial doors?
Once again, I think that they just kind of put doors, because how they're giving this to me is that the space was put together the way that it was put together after the fact, based on what money they had.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Right.
that's how they're giving this to me. They're making me
Okay.
feel like it was pieced together from other things,
Like
because
we do.
they like.
Maybe that's why they like us.
So like it's almost like everything is kind of being pieced together. And also, like, I'm gonna bring that up too, because they are making me feel like obviously you guys have antiques. Don't have to validate that for me. I'm here. But at the same time, a lot of people are like, oh, don't bring antiques into your house, or don't do this. You can do whatever the heck you want with whatever property you buy. Your energy is what keeps things So when you do that, if you're claiming it and you're like, hey, this is mine, your energy itself is going to cut any ties to that space and like, nope, not allowed to follow me. As long as you're doing that, because I don't think you guys have anything negative here from any antiques that you would have had.
We,
Is there anything that you
this
feel in there?
room,
I do, but
okay.
I mean, like they're pulling me here, but they're not really telling me anything about this room.
Yeah, can I
Okay.
tell you what may have what did happen in here to our granddaughter?
Hold on. Like I said, I like Spirit to tell me this story because I want them to be honest about what they're doing. Does she still come and stay with you guys every now and then?
Yes.
Was she scared of this room?
She won't come in here anymore.
Because they're making me feel like this is like a no space is what they're giving this to me. And it's probably because she did experience something. First off, I'm going to tell you that your granddaughter's probably a lot like you, because I feel like she's very lit up, but at the same time very closed is what your guides are doing to me, which means that she's got her own little bubble of protection and she is very quiet. They're making me feel like she doesn't like to be me. I'm loud and obnoxious, obviously, but they're making me feel like she's the absolute opposite. She doesn't like the gifts that she has, and so she gets scared when things are around her. And so at night things will come in and they will probably, whatever you guys are talking about, did that happen during the day?
Night.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in the late night, early morning.
Okay, because what they're doing is they're like, hold on, because they're giving me two, actually, more than one experience in this room. They're not giving me just one experience. But they're also making me feel like, I don't think she likes the door closed. They're making me feel like she has to have the door open because they're bringing light into the space, which means to me that she would want to have light coming into the space to keep her, because I'm going to tell you, that is a thing. When I was little growing up, I had to have light in my room because I was terrified. As soon as those lights went off, that's when everything started surrounding me. And I believe fully that she's being surrounded in her bed. They're making me feel like things come in, and it's almost like this is the difference. So when I was a little kid and I was growing up, I experienced a lot of negative activity, or what I experienced was negative activity because I didn't know the difference between how to feel and perceive. And I spent most of my life like this with my covers over my head because I would be touched all the time, and they're literally tucking her in. They're making me feel like they're touching her. And so that means to me that she has been touched. She has been pulled, literally, is how they're giving this to me. And so at some point, somebody's coming here that needs to know that there's boundaries regarding her. And those are boundaries you guys can once again set and make this a no space. Nobody can come in here, period, end of story. I love your guides. They're pushy and blunt. They go, yes, they go, you just tell her this. You wouldn't allow somebody to come into your space, a human to come into your space and ruin your family, right? Got to be the same with Spirit, okay? This is a no space. This is her space. This is her space only, and that is it. And so there's a way that we can push them out and say, absolutely not. Not going to happen today. And that's probably why they had me bring my anointing oil. Was probably because of this.
Because I don't know if you want me to tell you what she experienced in
You
here, or
can.
should I just leave that alone?
Well, you can. They're just making me feel like she's crowded at night is how they're giving this to me. I feel like I can't breathe. They're making me feel like she can't breathe when she's in there because everything is so heavy and it gets dark in there. It is dark to her. They're showing me my childhood. And so when I had a lot of spirits around me when I was sleeping, it got so dark in there. So yeah, you can tell me if you want to. But
she said a man came into her room and he had a candle thing, and he went up by her face like this and looked at her. And she said he didn't really have a face.
Dude. Yeah.
And then he went around her bed and went in that closet. And then our Labrador, if you look at the marks on there, just attacked that door.
Yeah, so gathering that's the same dude that I saw, the shadow figure. I don't think he meant anything bad by that.
See, and that's what we were thinking, that he's tucking her in, like how you said, because we didn't feel he was...
So I used to have a crazy lady. I lived on a house on, it was called Long Highway. And every freaking night this lady, I had bunk beds. Every night she would come and tuck me in, but she was terrifying. And I hated her so much because her hair was all crazy and she had this weird face. And she would always constantly come and like tuck me in, and it scared the bejeepers out of me. But she was not scary. And it took me years to realize what was happening, that I was being tucked in, and that was actually her way of trying to to love me. The issue is that spirit needs to understand that it's not loving to somebody who does not know what the heck you mean. And so they need to understand that what they're giving to her is not, even though she may be gifted and you may be gifted, we don't always know what our gifts are all the time. And until we do and we know how to read the situation, it's terrifying. So just tell him. And like I said, I think he's kind of the more pushy one, but even though I don't think he would do that to her, because I don't see him, I see him as a man who is pushy, is in the sense like, this is my space still, this is still my, what are you doing, why are you putting that chair there, that chair doesn't go there. That's how I see him. He's trying to make you guys do things that he would want because this is still my store. It's not his store. Like, it's literally not his store. And he's also making me feel like it changed things. So I don't know if it was a store and a post office, but he's making me feel like it was kind of two separate things at the same time, almost, is how he's giving it. So it's almost like we were working simultaneously with each other. And then he's shutting down the post office. So please just know that how it's almost like it's my space. And he's also making me feel like, was this always a space that he lived in or somebody lived in? Because he's making me feel like my space was upstairs. So if you had like the downstairs where the general store was and people came in and out at night, this was my house. And so you guys are in his house in his mind, but it's not.
Okay.
He needs to get that out of his mind. You own this now, and you can put whatever chair wherever you want it to be, and he's going to be okay with it. So I don't think he meant anything bad by that.
It was a store and a post office at one time, and he's the one that named the town.
Oh, well, then that's why he keeps saying, but it's all mine.
Yes.
He's got the gruffest voice. It's really funny because, like, he sounds so, he's like this old man that has this gruff voice, but he's like, I don't know. I feel like he was a teddy bear, really, to be completely honest with you. I don't think he was a jerk at all. Does anybody ever see people sitting at your table?
Oops, I'm sorry. No. Do you want me to turn this light on?
Sure. Because I'm actually seeing people sitting at your table right now, which means to me that sometimes every now and then that would happen. I do know, they did tell me that there was a different paranormal team or something that came in here. Did they actually capture anything on camera? Because what they're doing is they're turning themselves on and off.
Yeah.
And that means to me that, like, so Spirit has a way of either letting themselves be on camera or hiding themselves from camera. And so what they're doing is they're making me feel like they did a good job of hiding themselves on camera. So just know that if they caught anything, and I'm going to say it that way versus any other way, if they caught anything, I'm not exactly sure what or whom it would have been, because what they're doing is they're making me feel like they're really good. Like, if they show themselves to you guys, they probably won't show themselves to us. We may see shadow figures, we may see some things, but they know you. They know how to use your energy. This is your space. These people like you. And so they may try to stay away from people. And also, was that other team here longer than a couple hours? Because they're making me feel like they were here for a longer period of time. Does that make sense? Just yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So I think that that's actually beneficial. And I don't know if this is more for you, Scott, than it is for anybody else. But they're making me feel like the longer you stay in this space, the more they're going to be able to input your energy and lift your energy up and kind of know how to use it and manipulate it a little bit better so you can see what you want to see. And so that's what that means by turning it on and off. I'm going to be done channeling now, but I am going to ask you guys, were people buried in mass graves? And has anybody ever found any bones?
We found some
I've got bones in there. And I
Do
found
you know
some
if anybody
beads.
ever did like
tested.
like excavating? And ever do you know if the
Well,
water went bad?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the town was burnt.
Okay, what they're doing is they're not intaking water. They're making me feel like the well water went bad.
It was
okay.
malaria and diphtheria.
Okay, so that's all they're trying to give me, I guess, at the end point, is that the water went bad, and that was something that had to also do with that. So just know that I don't know if you guys have had a different well dug or whatever it is, but they're making me feel like you're not on the same system. So you have different water coming in from somewhere else. So please just know, still today they're making me feel like the water's still bad.
Huh.
Don't
I
ever,
believe it, 'cause I
don't
won't drink
ever,
it. I don't
do
drink
not,
it.
do not drink the water.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's necessarily with the same stuff, but they're making me feel like the piping system or the ground actually where the water comes from is bad. It can't be fixed. It's not something that can be fixed. It is literally the area. So just know they're giving a warning for you guys and anybody else in the space that you may want to give that to, because I feel like there's lead in the system, which will also cause you to have problems with your mental capacities. So they're just trying to give you guys a little bit of love from where they see. So know what you have here. You got a couple ornery old people, but at the end of the day, I think that a lot of people that are here are actually really nice, and they care about you just as much as you care about the space, because I really feel like this space is your home, and I really think that it'll take a lot to get you out. Okay? It will take you a lot to get out of this space. And just know that they see that, because I don't think it's been a labor of love, definitely. Because they were making me feel like you guys had to work a lot to make sure that this place was rebuilt in a way that made it easy for you guys to live here. Okay? And so please just know that there's a lot that you guys could still come up, and problems that could still exist and resurface, but they're so grateful that you're giving this space love. Because for a long time, it's almost like it sat vacant is how they're giving it to me. They're making me feel like it almost went to ruins, and it could have been so different for this space in this town that doesn't even exist anymore. This is the last stamp. This is the last stamp, and it's a big stamp. And they're grateful for your guys' time and energy and what you've put into this place. And that's why they love you. That's why they are here, and that's why they're going to continue to also protect you and keep you guys where you are. So,
Okay.
You guys have awesome spirit here.
All right.
Good.
I can
Good.
tell you the.
I'm not going to be afraid anymore.
I like your people.
My hands are cramping.
Yeah, I love it. Hugs.
The house.